All right. Well, the screen says I'm live. Let me go ahead and check her out on YouTube. Just a moment. It's a highly technical process. And the audio works. How about it? What a what a raging success to begin the evening here. I am a very tired boy. I did a pretty aggressive leg workout yesterday, and then taught two cardio classes. Had to set up the gym, and got to sleep very late and got up very early today. So a tad on the loopy side. But here we are, Sacktap Live, Wednesday night, October 18th. We continue to obliterate Iran. We'll talk about that. Well, not really that. We will talk about someone's potential proclivities and someone's reaction to it in a moment. First, Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler. YouTube at Mike's Golden Streams, or just search Sacktap Live, Mike Montone, and it'll come up eventually. Good evening, fellas. Casper, Hank Scorpio, checking in from from the great state of New Jersey with an Action Park 1988 hand job from a Russian broad. How about it? Did I say October 18th? Sorry, March 18th. Nick, I was just explaining that I am very, very tired. Did I say I might have said March. I don't know. You could convince me I said anything if we're being totally honest. You convinced me I just admitted to the Lindbergh kidnapping, and I'd believe you. Yeah, I never got to Action Park. Sounded like a real hoot. We'd just go and get hurt. That's what the 80s and that's what childhood in the 80s and 90s was. It was just doing things, and there was a good chance you were gonna get hurt. You never see kids walking around in casts anymore. There were constantly kids walking around with fucking casts on. Wrist and ankle. They're always good for a kid in like a sling or with one of those big club casts on their hand. They look like a defensive lineman. Always. And there was also there was a kid in every town who had something terrible happen to his testicles. Like there was always a kid who like either ripped his sack climbing over a chain link fence, or like crushed a. There was a kid who crushed it was a set of monkey bars, and the sides were wood, so you could kind of walk across them. And this dude slipped and fucking smashed his balls, and I think he only had one nut for the rest of his life after it. But yeah, that I don't think that happens as much anymore. I guess that's like the positive. The good thing about Roblox is that no one's out smashing their genitals or breaking their wrist. The bad thing is that they're all being molested and turned into fucking anti-Semitic trans whatever. That there's a whole stew going on now. I don't know what the fuck anyone is anymore. Potential spam. No, thank you. Yeah. Anyway. It's an odd generation. I saw that's spring break time, so they're like flooding Midtown right now, and they were all out there in their big pants. I'm really looking forward to the end of this big pants thing. I think it's around the corner because the big pants have been going on for a while, and that means that soon the big pants have to be rejected, and we'll be back to normal sized pants. It's just really it's I was thinking about the big, because my generation of course did the the big pants thing, the Jenkos thing and what have you. And then we kind of settled on just regular, like there was a sort of a backlash where everyone went with those insane skinny jeans. But then I felt like we had just settled on a sort of normal pant, just pants that fit, and they don't look ridiculous either way, because it was very stupid when you would see, so among certain groups, it was very popular to wear skinny jeans, but like halfway down their ass, or like halfway down their thighs, like they're somebody's prison bitch. That was very strange. And like fat guys, every once in a while you'd see like a fat guy try to tuck himself into skinny jeans, and he would look like it. Frank Reynolds did it in Always Sunny. They nailed it. Like you would walk around and you would see, because they were trendy, people who were not in any way built for skinny jeans would be trying to wear skinny jeans. And it's different than the leggings now and stuff are all contouring. So if like the bigger chick can squeeze herself into a pair of leggings, and it actually improves the appearance. Denim has a rigidity to it that does not do that. So when you would see, and this would, men and women were on this trend, you would see an overweight man or woman in skinny jeans, it would just look particularly absurd. But then we kind of got into this space where it was like, oh yeah, we just have jeans that fit like pants. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they became like performatively enormous. And I don't understand performative dress. Like why? What I don't, like, your entire day you're going to be walking around. The pants now have each leg has a circumference that is bigger than that of my entire waistline. Like that's a lot to walk around with. I'm going on a tropical beach getaway in short order here. So I got myself a nice pair of linen pants off the sales rack at Macy's. And linen pants there's supposed to be a little looseness to them. And I was trying them on, and they fit appropriately as linen pants. But even with them, I was like, oh, this is a very, like, I wouldn't walk around in my regular pants this loose. I'd do a little extra space because linen is supposed to kind of flow. But I don't, I truly do not understand this massive pants trend. It's very, very strange to me. But yeah, I see this time of year we're back to the big crowds in Midtown. You get that brief reprieve after the holidays and through the winter, and now they are fucking back in force, and it's field trip season, which is different. It's field trip and spring break season, which is like it's almost worse than the holidays. The holidays are bad because there's a volume of people. There's a lot of them. Field trip and spring break season. Well, the field trip portion of it really fucks everything up, because it's just dozens of them either walking 2 by 2 down the street, and there'll be like 30 in this long 2 by 2 procession, and they don't know how to get out of the way or just kind of generally navigate the area. Or the kids will be very excited, so there will just be a mob of them like sprinting down the street, and that combined with like some fucking, there was this bum doing the heroin shuffle, and you're trying to get onto the sidewalk because there's a bus bearing down on you. And there's just a wall of kids in polo shirts and khakis running and giggling in the theater district. So it is what it is. Maybe Tehran will put us out of our misery. Maybe they'll drop drop the big one. Um, Mike, I have a few linen items already. I have some linen shorts and whatnot. It's a pain in the ass. It shrinks a little bit, but I am. You have to understand. I'm a man who has a great love for leisure. As much as I am a physical beast who loves to get out there and mix it up, I also love leisure. So I've a lot. I have just a massive collection of clothing that is just specifically like vacation clothing. Every Saturday in the summer after I finish teaching my morning gym classes, I immediately change into a nice floral print shirt and a pair of shorts and slick back what remains of my hair, throw on some Wayfarers and cruise down the parkway to sunnier pastures. So I'm no stranger to linen. Hank, I will tell you, anything that I put on flatters my ass. I have outstanding glutes for a man of 40. Um, Nick, time machine question. Some kids in the 90s goes back in time to the 60s. Could they get laid quicker than some kids from today going back to the 80s or 90s? Oh yeah, I think certainly. You take the '60s free love culture, um, and you kids today would be fucking eaten alive going back to the '80s or '90s. They wouldn't. They would try. They first of all the guys are these guys are all fucking massive dorks. They would try to riz. They don't know how to hold a fucking conversation. They literally don't know how to speak. Like, I don't know if you've caught wind of this Gen Z stare. It's if you go into a place of business and there's like a young, like a teen 20 something working the register, or just working in general, they don't greet you. They don't say hello. Welcome to wherever. They just kind of give you this like slack jawed stare. Like they have that face that I take on when I'm looking at the screen trying to read something. So they don't. They would be devoured. Like they're not built for what high school and college were back then. Like, if we're talking like high school kids they'd be getting their ass kicked in the hallway all day. The chicks would get laid, but a woman goes anywhere and she can get a woman could literally get laid at a fucking Wawa. If a woman so wanted to, she could go spend a few hours, less than a few hours, 20 minutes at a Wawa somewhere, any time of day, 24/7, and get herself laid. Um, the guys would be absolutely fucked, without a doubt. They're certainly not built for the college scene of today. Think of the stereotypical. We'll talk about spring break in a little bit here. But think of the Revenge of the Nerds. Revenge of the Nerds 2, of course, Nerds in Paradise, Animal House, all of the great college movies. These kids aren't built for that. They're not. They don't have that in them. These kids are terrified of their own shadow, and millennial and Gen X parents did it. It's now millennial because millennials are. I'm like, I think in the mid range of the millennial age, or like the older end of the millennials. So it's like younger Gen Xers through millennials are the ones responsible for fucking these kids up. But yeah, no, they're not. They would do terribly. The 80s and 90s kids were resourceful. They had to know how to socialize. A kid from the 80s or 90s could speak to a kid from the 60s um, much easier than a kid from today speaking with a kid from the 80s or 90s. Um, I think there'd be a much easier connection there. But that is what an interesting piece of conversation fodder. I like if anyone ever has brain teasers like that, please fire away. That was good. Do college girls still get finger blasted in the library? I should hope so. What else? Why else am I sending those donations to my alma mater? If not so that undergrads can get fingered in the library. I was, by the way, fathers, talk to your sons before they go to college. I was looking at my alma mater posted some shit on Instagram, and the and I, I was also reminded of this a couple of years ago when I went back for a football game, but at 2000 student Muhlenberg College, the female selection was not strong. And then what that, it just creates this cascade of fucking problems, where I imagine it's what it's like to be in like maybe like Portland or San Francisco, a city where the women are less attractive, that it gives sixes way too much power. Good for you, Bateman. Enjoy that childless life. Hilly Jones checking in. Good evening, Hilly Jones. Goddamn right. Why else would you be in a library? Anyway, speaking of Tehran, Trump briefed that Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, is probably gay, and the president has priceless reaction. If there are moments in history that you would love to be a fly on the wall for, like great presidential moments, and like things like from like the biggest stuff, like of course Jefferson writing the Declaration, and Obama, in the Situation Room when they hunted down Bin Laden. But then there's like Lyndon Johnson holding staff meetings while he takes a shit. Clinton getting filleted. I think this is up there. Trump finding out that the Ayatollah is playing for the other team. That he potentially likes to get his Shiite pushed in. Watching that reaction would be absolutely incredible, because Trump is at his core. Trump is from Queens, and obviously he came from a family with money, but like, if you live in if you live in the boroughs, you live in the boroughs. Like, that's it. Obviously, he's not a hardened street guy, but there's still sort of a personality that comes with that. And if you're a guy from Queens who worked around, who spent a lot of time around construction and mobsters and all the kind of guys and casinos, and the types of people that Trump rubbed elbows with through his life, you are the kind of guy who still thinks it's hilarious when you hear that someone that you dislike is gay. Like, that's and it's not even it's not a homophobic thing or a hateful thing, as you know, you have to remind people these days. It's just, uh, you know, the idea that a wiener going into a butt is kind of funny, and finding out that that's what this guy might be up to, and you're at war with him, is also funny. And Trump appreciates that, and I think we all appreciate that. And others in the room also found it hilarious and joined the president's reaction. This line really got me. Well, one senior intelligence official has not stopped laughing about it for days, said one person familiar with the briefing. It's good. You got to have a good time. You know, a little bit of laughter when you're at war or whatever we're doing. I think we're just maintaining air superiority. Um, is a good thing, I think. You know, keep things light. It's tough these days with all there's a lot of propaganda on Twitter. Literally every day you go onto Twitter and there's just Americans or people who purport to be Americans tweeting about how the different way that we lost the war that day. They're like, it's over. It's over. It's over for Trump. It's over for America. And it's like, I don't know, man. You know, I'm going online. I'm watching videos of spring breakers beat the shit out of each other. They seem to be having people at St. Patrick's Day parades getting drunk, beating the shit out of each other. They all seem to be having a good time. I feel like we're doing pretty good. I'm going to be honest. I've been doing pretty good. I can't complain. But every day, and everyone I talk to in the military, I obviously have many friends in the military. I'm told, like, you know, morale is high. The troops are chomping at the bit. You have to remember Iran is responsible. So at least for the Marines, Iran is responsible for the deaths of many Marines in the barracks attack in Beirut. So getting a crack at Iran or Hezbollah or whoever is like very high on the priorities list for the Marine Corps. Obviously, they don't set the agenda, but no one in the Marine Corps would say no to the mission to take out anyone associated with those groups. The Marine Corps does not forget. It may have happened in the '80s, but we don't forget. And of course, you know, a lot of the weapons and munitions smuggled into Iraq during the insurgency were via Iranian assets. So there are a lot of American troops who would like a ground conflict to take place, despite what you may be hearing. And this again, it does not mean that as a policy thing, it's a good idea. I'm sure it's probably not the best course of action to wage a massive ground occupation of another country in the Middle East. We've done quite a bit of that, but you know, I can't say again. It's on a personal level. You know, I always say I root for the good guys. I want if America is involved in some sort of combat, I want America to win. If not because of, you know, just blind patriotism, then you want, you know, for the fact that it's always better to win at war than it is to lose at war, and also because if we're winning at war, it means, you know, we're not sustaining large numbers of casualties and horrible things aren't happening to American service members. So that's it's very strange to me, and I know a lot of it is like like bot accounts or, you know, foreign. If you go and look at the thing, it's, you know, they're tweeting from fucking Ghana or some shit. But there are also American accounts who seem to kind of be. It's not like it's some of them. It's not an overt cheer, but it's a rooting against Trump. So by proxy, they're sort of rooting against the troops. So anyway, the intel the intel indicated, and what a this guy's nickname. The intel indicated that Majtaba, who earned the nickname "the power behind the robes," which once, I think that was an allusion to being, sort of an assistant to his father, who was the previous Ayatollah. Um, but once you sprinkle in the piece about his bedroom proclivities, the power behind the robes becomes a much funnier moniker. And he has they are alleging that he has had a long-term sexual relationship with his childhood tutor, to sir with love, as they say. Yeah, how about that? Yes, they did. They absolutely did. The explosively formed penetrators. Yeah, and it appears that they are uh, quite fond of explosive penetration. One might say, but yeah, they are absolutely responsible for that. Those things are a motherfucker. Um, That's yeah, yes, we could send in Pete Buttigieg. We could. I think he's still on paternity leave. I think him and his husband both took paternity leave after they adopted a child. Pete Buttigieg. Hilly, I didn't really St. Patty's. I lifted weights. It was leg day. I did some squats, some Romanian deads, some Bulgarians. Um, but yeah, I did not. And then I taught two cardio classes after that. So that was St. Patty's. I have had some legendary St. Patty's days, but this year was not one of them. What's up next? Yeah, Spring Breakers knocked out cold in brawl on Cop Card outside Fort Lauderdale bar. Yeah, so it's spring break. They were on one beach. They had gunshots. On another, holy shit. I'm sorry. We will be watching a few Afroman videos in short order. Um, but I just opened Twitter. It's like every time I open Twitter, uh, it's Afroman is on my screen. But yeah, there are every if you type in spring break Fort Lauderdale, you just see clip after clip, and picture after picture of kids turning up, as they say. And then I guess yeah, there was a stampede on one beach because there were gunshots, which is good. That's I I went on spring break in Jamaica, so I can't say that there wasn't the possibility of gunfire erupting. But other than that, I don't understand, why bring a gun to spring break. Now, I'm looking at the picture, and this appears to be more of a, let's just say, a hip hop spring break. So, there's a walker. There is, this is wild. There's just someone down on the there's a let me go ahead and I'll share the image here. Um if you look at this and there's a fucking the stampede is coming and there's just someone on the ground here with a walker next to them, which I feel like you gotta, if that's you, you gotta pick your beach spot better, because this is not a beach for anyone who requires. I don't even know how you get out there in a wheeled walker. Um, and it doesn't look like they fell or anything like that. It just looks like they're laying down on top of a beach towel and just kind of catching some Z's. And all of a sudden there's just a fucking stampede coming their way. But yeah, they you know, I guess everyone celebrates spring break differently. It's like Christmas, I guess. Everyone does Christmas a little differently. Italians do Feast of the Seven Fishes. A lot for some people, Christmas is about, hearth and home. For others, they go maybe to New York City to see the lights and the tree and all of that. Some people might rent a ski chalet, or others prefer a tropical environment. And yeah, I guess some people like to. I remember going on spring break and we were doing like tug of war and wet T-shirt contests and push up. You would have, there would be a contest where there'd be a line of beers and you'd be in teams and you'd have to do 10 push-ups and chug a beer before the next person could go, and whoever, whatever team finished first won. We would do that. We didn't, there wasn't any gunplay. We weren't settling any scores. I don't know why ruin something as precious and sacred as spring break. Nick, were we more respectful on spring break or equally reprehensible? I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of fights on spring break. Now we were in Jamaica, so I think a lot of people. I couldn't smoke weed because I had started the process of joining the Marine Corps. So I was, if I had hit my cutoff where I could have that kind of fun. But I think maybe everyone was a little bit more chill because it was Jamaica. But no, I mean, it was more, everyone was just trying to hook up with chicks. Like, everyone, like, that was, we were, there was a lot of competition during the day, like volleyball and, like I said, like push-up contests and shit. And we were down there we rolled very deep. I think we had like 26 people in our group, and everybody was an athlete of some kind. So we were just down there dominating competitions and getting drunk and finger blasting chicks in the foam pit. Good times. Spring break, baby. If you have a college student in your life, in your family, tell them to go on spring break. Do not miss spring break. A few of you are going to wind up dead. It's a couple of you are coming home paraplegics. But don't miss spring break. I know South Beach has basically shut down any and all spring break parties. Yeah, they did the curfews a few years ago. I would never. I don't know why you want to go on spring break in the U.S. I wouldn't go to South Beach for spring break. It's too expensive, and it's in the United States. Like, part of the fun of spring break is going to like a shitty, cheap tropical island where you do an all inclusive. They give you a wristband. They have a different daytime party and a nighttime party set up for you every day. So, and then they have like a buffet at the hotel that you stay at. So you're in a hotel. It's all college kids. So everyone's just, the people are hooking up all over the goddamn place. You're either you're either up to your wrists in fucking muff or you're blackout drunk somewhere. And then you get up, you eat at just a big trough buffet. It's basically like French fries, buttered noodles. Maybe you get a burger or like they called them chicken patties, but like empanadas. And then you go out and you just drink in the sun until it's time to go to the first little party of the day. And they do the pool parties. Everyone's drinking like big fucking yards. There's got a DJ going. There are contests. It's awesome. It's the greatest thing in the world. Like spring break fucking rules. There's no other way to say it. Spring break fucking rules. And then you get back. You go back to your hotel. You do the same thing for dinner. The eating process is just cram disgusting carbs into your gullet. And then you kind of, you do a little nap, shower up, and get ready to go out at night. Yeah. Ayatollah, Jamaica. Yeah, what a time. What a time. Very briefly, before we check on the Afroman situation, I did want to touch on this because I cannot fucking stand Miss Rachel. This bitch sucks. Fucking, she just sucks. Fucking Miss Rachel blows. I have a problem with all of these. It's all a big grift. These fucking, children's any adult who becomes any kind of a children's entertainer. And I'll show you. If you don't know Miss Rachel, I'm sure some of you have kids out there. This is this fucking thing. God damn, the fucking New York Post, stupid. Center this. There we go. This is Miss Rachel, and she's got her kid in the picture. And this is one of her official pictures, which I find this particularly disturbing. That she's supposed to be this children's influencer and be good for kids and teach them and all this shit, but she's got her 1-year-old just publicly splattered out there for the for the world. In fact, I feel bad for even having a picture of the kid up there. I don't know why people put pictures of their very young kids, their faces online. That's a very that's very, very weird. Hank, I'm sorry you never got that Caribbean handy. Never too late, my friend. Yes, Cowster. Mr. Rogers was dope, but Mr. Rogers was genuinely seemed like a nice and decent person who was just teaching lessons. Miss Rachel's a Hamas sympathizer, and she's she's almost becoming like the standard bearer for a variety of millennial white women that I find particularly irritating. The type, right? So anyway, she put a video up of her and her kid. I guess like saying like, going through a lineup. Here's the I'm not gonna, again, I don't want to, we're not gonna watch a video of a fucking baby talking. But she posted a clip of her 1-year-old daughter Susie effortlessly ticking through an impressive lineup of words. The tot, whose full name is Susanna, said words like hi, bye, mama, dada, plus crowd pleasing extras like uh-oh, yay, and even Baba, which is a nickname for her older brother Thomas. This is not impressive, by the way. That a 1-year-old is making sounds is not an impressive thing at all. They all do it. I have 6 nieces and nephews, all of them aged 4 and below, and every single one of them, as either as an infant or whatever, was saying these things. Hi, bye. They hear a sound and they mimic it. So if you stand over them saying mama and point at mama, it's not necessarily that they even know. The sound gets in their head and they repeat it. There's nothing impressive about this. And you have parents, because what Miss Rachel is really for is not for the kids, but for the parents. Miss Rachel is for suburban white women to talk with each other about. That's really what this is. Like, and it's content for the kids, but there are a million people making fucking weird, kids videos online. Miss Rachel is one of those things. I guarantee, if it's a Miss Rachel house, probably a Ted Lasso house, probably a what's that other one? The Harrison Ford one. It's on like Apple TV that all the white women love. It's Miss Rachel is an indicator for the sort of milk toasty white woman who what's happened was the generation of white women who were told to lean in and take up space in corporate environments. A few different things happened to them. Some of them did lean in and take up space and became absolute fucking corporate sharks and rose up the ranks, and they're walking around in stilettos and pantsuits, and they may be engaging in daytime butt plug use or what have you, but they're doing all right. They'll do cocaine with you at a party. They're fun. They're complete nutcases, but they're a good time. Then you have some of them leaned in, took up space, and went like the HR route. They're the ones who have been ruining everyone's life for the past decade and a half or so. Then you have the ones who quit and started, they went into business of their own, or they went, did something, indulged like their creative side or something like that. And they seem to be living, lives of a certain contentment. I would say, they're doing true crime podcasts or whatever. Or some of them are doing, they're doing like relationship podcasts with no ability to maintain a relationship. They will I love, those are my favorite people. Relationship advice experts who are, they're in and out of a new situationship every 3 weeks. So what they do is, because they are constantly like they can't be alone. They can't simply be alone, right? Because it's not like being in a relationship makes you an expert on being in a relationship. No, just being in a relationship just drives you a little insane. But you can be alone, like you can just be by yourself too. These people are completely incapable of that. and so incapable of it are they that they constantly need to talk about it and obsess over you. I used to run into a lot of them down the shore when I was like in my 20s, that they're just their entire life revolves around relationship status conversations. So that's a particularly odd breed, but there are them, and then there are the I believe they're referred to in conservative political circles as awfuls. I think it's affluent white female liberals, or like it's something like that, or aggressive white female liberals, something like that. But they're the the type of women that you would see wearing Lululemon, throwing a fucking brick at an SUV because they think it's being driven by an ICE agent. Or if you saw the video of the women attacking the employees at the yoga studio because they weren't I guess they'd put up these women had posted like an anti-ICE flyer in the window, and the staff took it down because, why would you want to turn your fucking corporate yoga studio into a hotbed of political dispute? You wouldn't. Namaste. And now we're going to go fucking throw Molotov cocktails at a federal building. It's not, that's not the message that people want to get from yoga. But there's this generation of white millennial women who were told to lean in and take up space, and they tried it and did it for a few years, and they got burnt out and finally gave into the biological impulse to reproduce, and it's like they're making up for time lost, being like they try to compete. They take this corporate competition mindset and they apply it towards parenting, and they want to create the image that they are the most successful parent, and a lot of it involves overpriced travel sports teams and what have you. But Miss Rachel is a big part of that. Just checking. I like this. Death by PowerPoint. I haven't heard that in a while, but yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, in the Marine Corps, you would lose entire days every quarter because you would have to sit through hours and hours of PowerPoints about how if your Marines go out and drink together on the weekends, one of them is going to get raped. Fucking just absolutely, yes, absolutely ridiculous. Empowering white women is one of the silliest things we've ever done as a society. Yes, white chocolate Chucky D. The funny thing about Lean In and all that bullshit is women all hate each other deep down. They do. Women all despise each other. There's nothing better than introducing two women that you're friends with from like different parts of your life and trying to navigate those first few minutes where you're trying to like break the ice and the tension between them, and they're passively aggressively complimenting each other's outfits and appearances. It's great. You have to do it if you want to be able to have like a nice calm time. They have to do their little thing where they assert their dominance over each other by shit talking each other's fucking clothing right in front of you in a manner that you don't understand. Cowster, you're from South Central LA. Yeah. Shug Couster. I'm sure you are. Yes, Turk. It is like cats meeting. My 29-year-old lesbian coworker bit my bicep today. What does that mean? It means you're cool. You're a bro. You're bros with a lesbian. It's fun. I'm bros with a lesbo. One of my very good friends from the gym is she is a lesbo's lesbo. Yeah. The lesbians are good people to be in good stead with. My old boss was a lesbian. Very very cool lady. Her I remember when we had like her going away party, and we all got to get hammered together. And it kind of like those events kind of like with those like form the friendships with some people that you work with, and like you become like friends off of that. And she was telling like awesome like lesbo stories. So yeah, befriend the lesbos. They're a good bunch. As you know, I've been a long time advocate of the lesbian community. And of course we can't leave tonight. I know we've already done kind of an hour here, but I just want to have some fun and take a moment and watch some of these Afroman videos, like, and you know, usually you're doing a stream or a podcast, you would watch the videos and then comment on them. But truly, I don't. The videos almost speak for themselves. Maybe I'll have something to say, but like I was watching them and I don't know that any of this can even be improved on. They may be some of the most entertaining videos, and I don't know what's in order or what's been going on. This trial is the greatest thing ever. So Afroman got very mad at the police because they raided his home and they broke his door. And he was found not to have committed a crime, apparently. And so, in as revenge, he wrote a song demanding that the police fix his door, and he insulted a number of members of law enforcement. And so they banded together to sue him, and it has been hilarity that has ensued in the courtroom and in these music videos. So we'll watch a couple together and just enjoy them. I think this might be my favorite, actually.
So you're claiming that is the defamation statement, is that he said he had sex with your wife?
I had sex with your
That
wife.
painted you in a false light.
It's caused tremendous pain in my life.
I'll get to that. We have to go through false light first. So does it paint you in a false light?
Yes, that my wife is cheating on me with Mr. Foreman.
But we all know that's not true, correct?
I don't know.
Wait, you don't know if your wife's cheating on you or not?
You want to go there?
No, I just want to ask that question because you said we don't know. I just
Been with that
answer.
woman since middle school.
I know.
I would hope she wouldn't. But you know what? Once somebody puts it out there for their fun and entertainment, it's out there. And it's a problem.
So it's something we cannot verify the truth of? Is it a thing that can be verified, true or false?
Ask your client.
By the way, the moment that you get your opponent in court, to state that he cannot confirm or deny if his wife had sex with you, you've already won the case. Whatever, you could lose the legal proceedings, but in that moment, Afroman has won. And this does, if you were writing a movie, like in literally in the song Colt 45 and Two Zigzags, where he's talking about having sex with all these women. There is one where he's having sex with a gentleman's daughter, and the gentleman is like incredibly racist and catches him and I believe whoops his ass with a 2x4. And this guy looks like he would be that guy. But this guy, I mean, you're never gonna live this down. Like, just being there and giving such a limp dick to like response. Like, very, like, this guy just comes off as like a low T sad sack. And he's got to shave this circle beard. This is not helping. Afroman has one too, but Afroman looks cool, and he's paired it with mutton chops and more of maybe a full beard or whatever. The standalone circle beard is a very, very difficult look to pull off. And then this patch situation, up on the top of his. I mean, I'm not Joseph Stalin over here, but this is, you got to go just full cue ball, my friend. But that was that one. Let me see. There were more. There are many. I have like all of these Afroman tabs open. What's the next good one? Oh yeah, okay. Here is this I believe is actually Afroman singing about banging this guy's wife, I think.
Randy Walters is the son of a bitch. Yeah, that's why I fucked his wife and got filthy rich. It's my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my video. It's my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my video. It's my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my video. It's my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my video.
Incredible stuff. He's got such a nice soulful voice too. And I love that he uses it to sing about funny things. That's one of the fun aspects of Afroman. But just absolutely savage. Absolutely savage beating. You do not want, this is not a gentleman you want to run afoul of. Like, this is like people think that they're, they're good. Oh, we made, memes, this and that. And, Trump made a meme, Gavin, it's the meme warring people has become quite a thing. I think if I'm running for office, I hire Afroman. I would hire Afroman's people and Trump's people to be my meme people, and we would just fucking annihilate the competition. Because it's not it's not over, but the fact that it's so underproduced that he's just dancing in front of this green screen really makes it perfect while he delivers these vicious lines about banging this guy's wife. And then the fact that this guy has to sit there in court and talk about the banging or the alleged banging. We have a couple. I mean, there's just so many. There's so many. This is Afroman just fucking rules, man. Afroman rules. Let's do this one. This fucking guy. This guy looks like the guy who ran the call center that Michael Scott worked at. What's his? Let's get this guy's info here from the tweet. Officer Pound Cake Cooley took the stand and acted like he had no idea why he was being called Pound Cake. Okay, let's.
Sean, you were called Officer Pound Cake by Mr. Foreman?
Multiple times.
You
You
were
received hundreds of pound cakes at work from different people.
Okay. And the context
I'm
of
sorry. Did he say he received hundreds of pound cakes at work?
Foreman?
Multiple times.
You
You
were
received hundreds of pound cakes at work from different people.
Well, that's nice.
And
Love
the
a pound
context
cake.
of that name comes from a music video that Mr. Foreman created, correct?
I don't know where he got it at, but you'd have to ask him that question.
The Adams County Sheriff kicked down my door. Then I heard the glass break. They found no kidnapping victims, just some living pound cake. Mama's living pound cake. It tastes so nice. It made the sheriff wanna put down his gun and cut him a slice. Living pound cake. He wanna put down his life. Living pound cake. Trending on TikTok. Living pound cake. He's a family guy. Living pound cake. Munchies because he got hot. Living pound cake. Pound cake.
I mean, it's at the same time incredibly, it's done in such the presentation feels so juvenile, but the writing is outstanding for what it's supposed to be. Like, it's so fucking funny and clever. Like, and he's just destroying this collection of sort of oafish dopes. Like, but unfortunately in this country there's become like a very violent, angry, fuck the police attitude. In the 90s there was sort of more of a especially if you grew up in the suburbs in the 90s and 2000s, you had more of a lighthearted, cheeky rivalry with the cops where, they were trying to bust you for things, and every time they would, inquire as to what you were up to, you would lie to them, and there was a fun to it. That's since sort of disappeared, and it's so nice to get this, because I think Afroman he's sort of that might have been that era might be when he smoked his that part of his brain too, so it's just kind of it's just kind of locked there, which you know, again, I absolutely love because you know, for me, it's probably concussions that have locked my brain in that era. Concussions and raging alcoholism. But you know, to each their own. But just incredible stuff. Let me see if he says anything here.
About it there. So you've seen Exhibit D.
I mean, so fucking good. So good. Absolutely, Mike. Love lemon pound cake. Incredible. Give me lemon pound cake. I think they had a chili macaroni and jalapeno cheddar. And I'm a happy man. Good man, Mike Loads. You know how it works. Who's this guy? This fucking... It looks like something terrible. It looks like Paul Verzi going through a rough patch. This fucking picture. Here we go. Which guy is this? Is that... I wasn't sure if this was Pound Cake again or a different guy. I don't know. This isn't Pound Cake. This is a different... There are a lot... This is a hefty bunch of bald... Again, like, this is really a Keystone Cops, Super Troopers. Like, these are the police we remember from back in the day. So let's see what this guy has to say.
Can you tell me what fact about you that receding hairline or dipshit refers to, please?
I'm sorry?
What private fact of yours does that refer to?
I mean, there's a picture of me, and see here, talking about see, I wouldn't trust him with methamphetamine crack ass alone in my house.
So
I find that pretty insulting.
So that statement is what you're suing on.
Well, no, I told you this is one of many.
Well, and that's why we're trying to
you
find.
keep trying to make it singular. I'm telling you, it's not singular. It's plural.
Okay, and so one of them is dipshit, one is receding hairline,
Yep.
and the other is meth heads.
Yes.
Is there any more?
Well, when he's sitting there making accusations against the organization that I, at that time, was working for, destroying community trust, all based off of a lie, that's what ultimately stopped.
And that's community trust in the Adams County Sheriff's Department, correct?
Yes.
Having to go to court to defend yourself against charges of being a dipshit, again, whether I believe Afroman won this case. I didn't have time to like dive into the particulars of it because I started seeing these videos this afternoon right before my my Wednesday afternoon nap. But again, even if Afroman were to have lost the case, he would have won because he dragged these guys in, or these guys wound up in front. He wins even more because I think they sued him. So in suing Afroman, these guys dragged themselves to court to defend against accusations that they are dipshits who got their wives banged by Afroman and stole his lemon pound cake. Like, this is the biggest win over the system that anyone has ever gotten. This is, I mean, just huge. We have one more here. One more that we'll do on our way out the door, because I'm 12 minutes over time here, but this is just, it's too much fun. These are just incredible. See what this old broad had to say. What a very contemporary hairstyle she has. That is very feathered. She must have this one used to be a minx back in the day. Back in the day. Not now. That feathered hair has to go, lady. That is fucking. The thing about feathered hair is that you have to feather your hair regularly. So if you have a feathered hairstyle, it's very much by design. Like there are any number, you can put it back in a ponytail or something. This is not the George Michael is gone out many years ago. Last Christmas was last century.
I'm going to give you the complete song and then summarize it because I only want to say it once. Are you familiar with the song Wet Ass Pussy?
Yes,
Is that a rap song?
it is.
Has your students played it in class?
Once, and I asked them to please turn it off.
When they were listening to it, did they think that was fact?
No,
So they didn't think that that was depicting anything in real life?
no,
So you didn't have to teach them that wasn't real?
right. No, I did not.
You've heard the song, correct?
Yes.
Do you believe it's a literal interpretation?
No,
Would you agree it's derogatory towards women,
no,
even though it says nasty things about them?
yeah, no. I mean, it's the artist's opinion, I guess. That's the way I feel.
Maybe not an opinion you like, but
Yeah.
Look at this lady sticking up for Afroman. I wonder if she's gonna find herself mentioned in the next iteration of Cult 45, because I could see her and Afroman getting together. I'm sure she's got some wilds. If you're in court going, somewhat low cut with feathered hair and multiple chains on, you probably had a good time in the 80s. You're clinging to a certain decade. Good for her. She's a stand-up woman. Everyone should be lucky enough to find a woman like that. She looks like Barb from Trailer Park Boys. I never got deep into Trailer Park Boys. I love Bingo Night Chic. Nick, you've been following. The judge changed what the jurors can vote on. He won the Derek WT doing a little prep work for me. He was cleared of wrongdoing in a lawsuit filed by 7 Ohio police who claim. What's Afroman living in Ohio is also the greatest thing. Afroman's got to move. Afroman needs to be in like Florida, Georgia, maybe somewhere in California. We don't need Afroman. Afroman is wasted on Ohio. Let's get Afroman out there to a proper, fun and sunny place. But yeah, these guys really are local Ohio cops to a T. Just absolutely great stuff. Oh God. Turk, that's quite a comment. She's chewing Nicorette until she can go outside and rip some Cools. Yeah, no, she absolutely smokes Cools. She is, You know what? She loves a trip. She goes to Vegas, spends most of her time in old Vegas. She likes to sit down and play at a table in old Vegas, and yeah, just rips through smokes at the table. And then goes out. She does like she spends a little bit. She likes to go see Wayne Newton. She gets wet for Wayne Newton. Incredible stuff from Afroman there. Well, congratulations to Afroman. I've long been a fan of his work. And that's that for this week. Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary _Moyler, Moyler, YouTube at Mike's Golden Streams. Tell your friends, tell them if they like Afroman, if they can't stand Miss Rachel, and everywhere in between. Come by and check out the stream. Thank you all for checking in. I am gonna get some sleep, guys. It's a great idea. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Adios, motherfuckers.